Welcome in. Welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast. Got a good show for you today. We're going to talk some NFL and, of course, the biggest name in the NFL this offseason, Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens quarterback, or will he be the Baltimore Ravens quarterback by the time this season starts? I guess we're going to find out. Anyway, before we get to that, you know what it is. If you're here on YouTube, go ahead, click that like, that subscribe, and that notification bell so you're always aware when new episodes come out and you can be up to date on this new content we're continuing to bring you. If you want the audio-only version of the podcast, go ahead, open up your audio podcast platform, type in the Format Podcast, do a little search. We should come up. Please make sure you give us that 5-star review if you enjoy the content, and leave us a comment either on your audio podcast platform or on right here on YouTube. All those little things helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. Let's get to it. So, Lamar Jackson, man. Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson, they're in a heck of a spot. So if you're an NFL fan, you know that yesterday was the deadline to put the franchise tag on any players if you're going to do so as an organization in the NFL. And the Ravens have been trying to get a deal done with Lamar Jackson for the last 2 seasons. Last year, he played on the franchise tag, and this year they were forced to franchise him again because why? They couldn't come to a deal. One of the biggest things you're hearing about the fact that they couldn't come to a deal is obviously that Lamar Jackson is representing himself in the negotiations, doesn't have an agent. He's got his mom working in that capacity, and I'm sure he has some quality advisors, attorneys, etc., along with him. But he doesn't have an agent in the traditional sense. And so the rumors on that are, or have been, I suppose, for a while now, that Lamar Jackson wants money that exceeds the guaranteed amount of the Deshaun Watson tag, which was the Deshaun Watson contract in Cleveland, which was $230 million fully guaranteed over, I think, 5 years. Now, when that deal was signed, Ravens owner Steve Bisciotti, and I think this was to his and his organization's detriment, especially when it comes to Lamar Jackson, came out and basically strongly condemned that deal. Now, hey, look, that's Cleveland. That's what they did. Keep your mouth shut. Even if you know that as an organization and as an owner, that's something that you're against and you don't want to do in terms of giving a player a fully guaranteed contract over a long term, then you keep that to yourself, because now you put yourself in a position and you've already created odds with your star, right? When you had a chance to sign him already, but that's something different. So Lamar Jackson, the rumor is that he wanted more than that, which is interesting because that's the way you often hear it referenced in the sports media, that Lamar Jackson wants his money and Lamar Jackson wants fully guaranteed more than Deshaun Watson. But Stephen A. Smith on his show, First Take on ESPN, he stated that he was contacted by members of Lamar Jackson's camp, and they stated to him unequivocally that Lamar Jackson has never asked the Baltimore Ravens or demanded of the Baltimore Ravens that they pay him a fully guaranteed contract more than what Deshaun Watson wants. So now you get into all this interesting situation. And again, because Lamar is now working with an agent, no one is truly sure of what he wants. Now, the Ravens, of course, they're doing what organizations do. They're leaking numbers, they're leaking things. And unfortunately, it's likely an attempt to, you often see organizations in contract negotiations, they'll put stuff out there in an attempt to sway public opinion and make the player look bad, make the player look as if he's greedy. Now, Lamar Jackson is trying to do what he's trying to do for himself and his family and his long-term future. That said, if what we're hearing is correct, the Ravens did offer him a deal maybe a couple of weeks or a month ago that had $133 million fully guaranteed money on it, which would have made him receiving the second highest fully guaranteed amount in the history of the NFL. So there's that. Now, real quick, a lot of times people kind of get confused between fully guaranteed and total guaranteed. So I urge you to go ahead, look up the difference in NFL contracts between fully guaranteed and total guaranteed. There is a difference, and fully guaranteed is what you want versus total guarantees. So go ahead, take a look at that. I know it sounds almost the same, but take a look at that. There is a difference, and fully guaranteed is what you want. Now, again, Stephen A. is adamant that Lamar's camp reached out to him and told him that that's never been, in terms of a fully guaranteed deal, or a fully guaranteed deal exceeding Deshaun Watson has never been something that Lamar Jackson has demanded from the Ravens. So we really don't know, because again, not having an agent, that information's not getting out to us. It's not being leaked in terms of what Lamar is actually asking for. Now, quick note, I'm kind of curious to know if it's me and Lamar's camp reached out to Stephen A. Obviously, he had to give the say-so for this. Why not leak the number that you're looking for? So if the Ravens can leak it, why can't you? That way people can stop, quote unquote, slandering you or saying the wrong thing or trying to make you look a certain way, because now they've got a little more actual information to go by. But anyway, that's just me. So the thing here is this. Lamar Jackson is a former MVP, unanimous MVP in the NFL, one of the best quarterbacks since he entered the league. Only Patrick Mahomes has more wins than him. I want to say he wins between 70-75% of his games. So we know that Lamar Jackson is an absolute game breaker. We know that he is one of, if not the most dynamic quarterback who's ever played the position in terms of his ability to throw and run. Obviously, his ability to run just completely unlocks any offense that he's going to be in. And early in his career, the running was clearly the big difference maker. But if you've watched him, you can see how much he's developed in the passing game. And along with the Ravens going ahead and getting offensive coordinator Todd Monken coming in from national champion Georgia in college, and he's also a former NFL OC, they're going to be able to put into place a true NFL offense kind of. So Greg Roman, the former OC in Baltimore, his offense was more predicated on, option, RPO, that kind of thing, utilizing Lamar's legs, utilizing a crushing running game. Now, no one's going to sit here and tell you that Todd Monken doesn't believe in running the football, but he's got a more pro-style offense. And with that, now you're going to have the opportunity, if you can get Lamar taken care of, obviously, that maybe more receivers want to come in and play in this scheme, more high-end receivers, etc. may want to come in and play in this scheme, and that would be better for Lamar. That'd be better for the Ravens. But at the end of the day, the Ravens and Lamar Jackson got to figure out if they can come to a deal. Now, the Ravens put the non-exclusive franchise tag on him yesterday. So what does that mean? That means if he signs it and plays under it this season, he'll make $32 million fully guaranteed. Now, if they had put the exclusive franchise tag on him, then he would have made 45, but he'll make 32 under the non-exclusive. But what's the big part here? This is where the Ravens are really making a gamble. What's going to happen is this. Because it's non-exclusive, Lamar Jackson can talk to other teams, let them know what he wants, let them know what, and they will be able to, if they want to, put an offer sheet together. If he signs an offer sheet with another team, the Ravens will have the opportunity to either match said offer sheet, or they can go ahead and let Lamar go to that other team and be compensated with 2 first-round draft picks. Now, we know that draft picks in the NFL are worth much more than draft picks in the NBA, but even still, 2 first-round draft picks is simply not enough compensation for a guy like Lamar Jackson, who makes tons of money for an owner by putting butts in the seats and moving merchandise. Also makes tons of money for an owner in a franchise by putting butts in the seats, moving tons of merchandise, and winning a ton of games and getting your team to the playoffs. Now, Lamar Jackson to this point has only 1 playoff win, but most young quarterbacks outside of Patrick Mahomes, right, don't have a lot of playoff wins. Justin Herbert, he's a guy that everybody's in love with. He has no playoff wins. But then you look at it in the same division, you have Joe Burrow in Cincinnati, and he's been to the Super Bowl once and the AFC Championship game twice. So this is going to be really interesting. And also, the Ravens have to be careful here again in terms of they could theoretically franchise Lamar Jackson again next season, and that'd be even more punitive against the cap. They could do it, but do you really want to do that when Joe Burrow's contract is coming up and Justin Herbert's contract is coming up, and chances are these guys may reset the market again? I don't know if either one of them is going to get more fully guaranteed money than Deshaun Watson, but their deals are going to be huge, and their deals are going to reset the market again. So it would behoove Baltimore, if at all possible, to get this deal done. Now, I've long been a proponent of Lamar. If what's being reported is true, Baltimore has offered you a really good deal. I mean, seems like a really good deal to me, right? And I'm not just saying that because I've never had millions before. I'm saying that because by the numbers reported, it is the second most guaranteed money in the history of the NFL. So that's big. It's also seems like a really good deal because it would allow you to get back to the table. But here's another option for Baltimore. Okay, you don't want to do a huge long-term deal fully guaranteed. Why not just give him 3 years, right? At say 125, 130, or maybe 150 million guaranteed. And then it's a win-win, because if he takes you far in the playoffs or he wins you a championship, then you got what you got out of him. And it's a win for him as well, because he has the opportunity to get back to the table again. So I don't know why you don't just do a shorter deal with him. But again, what's frustrating to me, what I'm hearing, right? And obviously I have no connections inside the Ravens organization or anything like that. But what's frustrating to me is that life is a series of negotiations. And from what we're hearing, it doesn't seem like, and again, this could be just what the Ravens are putting out, so we don't know, but Lamar also is not doing a good job of communicating with anyone either. So it's kind of hard to land on his side, other than just saying that, you know, owners have a history of screwing players, which in many cases is true. But regardless, it's frustrating to me because life is a series of negotiations, and it doesn't seem like Lamar is necessarily negotiating. It seems like he's here, he's saying, I want this, and the Ravens are saying, we'll give you that, and there's no willingness to move to the middle ground, right? For instance, Daniel Jones of the New York Giants, he just got a new deal. He's going to get $82 million. I believe it's signing, fully guaranteed. It's like 4 years, $160 million, right? And everybody knows Daniel Jones is not a $40 million quarterback. He's just not. But his agent put it out there that he wanted $45 million a year. And at that point, the Giants were already at offering him about 32 to 35. But guess what? It's a negotiation. They met in the middle. Now he's getting 40. Again, he's not a $40 million quarterback, but that's just kind of where quarterback numbers are in the NFL right now. But the point is, he had an agent. They negotiated. He knew he wasn't going to get 45, but they came to the right spot in the middle. They have a deal. Daniel Jones has 4 more years with the New York Giants, right? Now, I'm sure the Giants can get out of that deal if they want to in a couple of years, but you understand the point I'm trying to make. So this is what I don't understand. It seems to me like Lamar, it seems to me from the little that I know and the little that we're hearing, is not particularly willing to negotiate. He's taking a hardline stance. He is where he is, and if you're not coming to what he wants, then there's no negotiation, and that's not how life works. But we'll see where this all ends up. We'll see. Does he not sign the franchise deal? Does somebody give him the deal that he's looking for and Baltimore matches? Does somebody give him the deal he's looking for, Baltimore doesn't match? What's going to happen here? This is probably the biggest soap opera of the offseason. Can't wait to see how it turns out. So what I want to know from you, where do you stand on Lamar? Should he have taken that $133 million fully guaranteed? That makes the second most fully guaranteed money in the history of the league. Do you want to know exactly what Lamar is asking for so we can have a better idea of which side we should land on? Are you with the Ravens? Are you with Lamar? Do you think he's going to end up somewhere else? Go ahead, leave your comments in the comments section. Can't wait to hear from you. And I'm out. Peace.